Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Investing Explained. Here's today's question. So we talked about the single family units, over 150 of them from the beginning, but I know you've scaled into multifamily since then. So today, do you prefer single family or multifamily properties, and why?
I prefer multifamily. If I were to go, and I know this is most likely one of your questions in the future, if I were to do it over again, I would still go with single family, nothing wrong with it. But I looked at the things ultimately where I wanted to go long term. So having that many single families is very management intensive. So didn't just have them in Indianapolis, but had some in Dayton, Ohio as well. They were all throughout the cities. So it's very, when a maintenance request comes in, they're scattered throughout. So there's that. And then also the ability to control, felt it made more sense for the multifamily. So in single family, when you look at exiting, for instance, that property across the street sold for that sold for that across the street, mine will sell for this. Versus on multifamily, it's all based upon NOI, so your net operating income. So it's more sophisticated buyers would tend to look at the asset. So if you could push up income, that's how someone will look at it from an exit. They look at it from cap rates and the economies of scale. So literally went from purchasing single family houses and then jumped to a 46 unit. And after that, there's one buyer and 46 units all in one location. So it just, after acquiring that first deal, just absolutely shifted from single family altogether.
That's a big jump from single families to 46 units. What did that look like? What were the big differences?
The biggest learning, especially on that first deal, was structuring deals. That was one huge game changer. From the investors tend to be more sophisticated and they have a different appetite on the multifamily. So I was able to bring some of our investors from the single families to the multifamily, but a lot did not jump across because they didn't understand, because that's a whole different animal.
Did you stay in Indy for that 46 unit, or did you have to go outside of your local market?
Stayed in Indianapolis. I would say another thing that on the multifamily side that ended up encountering was, this was in 2017. So everybody wanted to be in multifamily. So what I experienced was going through brokers was absolutely not working by any means in terms of the deals penciling out. The returns just were not there. So decided to, and this is one thing that I want to mention to people too, is, and also take notes, is that depending on your original plan, to take pivots, and instead of looking at that as an obstacle, looked at it as a problem to be solved. So took a step back and said, why not take the approach and going direct to the owners versus going through the brokers? So essentially beating the brokers to the punch. And that's where I've had the most success.
That's all for this episode of Real Estate Investing Explained. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to get even more free content.